The night before Shane was detained, he sent me an email saying, "Hi Shannon, we've been traveling. We're in northern Iraq now. Don't worry, it's autonomous and totally safe. Sarah had time off, so we took a trip with Josh and Sean. It's fun being a tourist and not a journalist. Today or tomorrow, we will head up into the mountains, which one friend told me is the most beautiful place he'd ever seen in his life. We should be back Tuesday night. When can you meet to talk after that?"
And when Sarah came through to where a group of press were waiting to talk to her, she had some very carefully considered words.
Today is the work that my day begins, and all of my efforts starting today are going to go into helping procure the same freedom for my fiancé Shane Bauer and for my friend Josh Fattal, because I can't enjoy my freedom without them.
My childhood with Shane and Nicole, who's my sister, it was full of imagination, and growing up we didn't have a lot of money, so we just kind of made up our own stuff to play with, and we were outside all the time. And we would play baseball all day, we would build forts, and just the type of person Shane is and my sister, they're just he's so caring, and he's so, as a brother, he was always there for me and Nicole, and he always wanted to spend time with us, and he's 4 years older than me, but even as kids, he still loved playing with us, and he's just always been a really sweet guy.
The only thing that enabled me to cross the gulf from prison to freedom alone was the knowledge that Shane and Josh wanted with all their hearts for my suffering to end. They showed nothing but joy at my release, and that, more than anything, is testimony to the selflessness and beauty of their spirits.
Our family, Sarah has been so loving and has really been a part of our family since they started dating. And I think Nora feels the same way about Shane. But just the love that they share together it's just it's hard to even explain. I think all you need to do is see them or even see the pictures, and it's just, I feel like the love emanates from them. You can see how happy they are together, which is really hard to see Sarah right now. As strong as she is, this is not how she envisioned it, and this isn't how we envisioned it.
Getting on the plane in Tehran was one of the most memorable and important moments of my life. But this is not the time to celebrate. My disappointment in not sharing this with Shane and Josh was crushing, and I stand before you today only 1/3 free. That was the last thing that Josh said to me before I walked through the prison doors. Josh and Shane felt 1/3 free at that moment, and so did I.
This whole thing is so bittersweet for her because she left my brother, her fiancé, and Josh back, and I know that was in a lot of ways harder for her than it was for Shane and Josh. They were really excited that she was going to be released, and she said she was really emotional and really felt bad leaving them. So I definitely see that side, and just the side of her that is struggling, and understandably so, struggling and just being released, and now she's fighting so hard for Shane and Josh, and I don't know how she's doing it, to be honest.
I never, in my worst nightmare, imagined that I would be a prisoner. I never saw it coming, and I never knew that my family would have to suffer like this.
She said in the beginning they had a really hard time, and they really worried about us, and they really kind of wondered what was going on, and went through different guilty feelings themselves. And she said after a certain amount of time they knew that there's nothing they can do about it, and that they'll be free at some point and we can have all these conversations then.
Shane and Josh do not deserve to be in prison one day longer than I was. We committed no crime, and we are not spies. We in no way intended any harm to the Iranian government or its people, and believe a huge misunderstanding led to our detention and prolonged imprisonment.
The whole time they've gotten in like maybe 2 arguments, and they were really small, and they were able to talk through them. And I think Shane and what I know from Josh, they're both like, they communicate well and they're really open with each other. And Sarah said she made sure that they talked about their feelings enough and they were open with each other. So I think the type of men that they are, their strength and their like openness and like genuine caring and compassion for people is helping them a lot in this situation.
We came up with a million ways to try to brighten our days and maximize the little time we had together. I would often come out to prison in a very bad state of mind.
Out to the courtyard where the 3 of you could see each other.
Yeah, out to the outdoor space. I would be waiting for hours, pacing and just like desperately in need of human contact.
Like we're doing everything we can think of and everything that anyone has suggested to do and more, and nothing is happening from it. Like it's so hard to put so much time and so much of everything into this, and we never really see anything come from it. And we don't know what kind of impact anything makes, because it's not, no one says like, that was a good point, stay with that route, that'll get them released. Like we're in the dark with everything, and it's really discouraging when I think about just kind of like why this is even happening, and when I think about the fact that it doesn't have to keep happening. I think that part, there's a lot of parts that are like the hardest part of it, but definitely the powerlessness that we feel is really hard.
Well, big smiles when she touched down in Muscat about 9:30 local time, 2.5 hours before taking off from Tehran, a couple of hours before that being released from jail. So a huge rush for her. But on the tarmac, right next to the plane, getting a hug from her mother and a kiss from her mother and from her uncle, the 3 of them embraced on the tarmac. And then her mother playfully, the red scarf that she'd worn over her head,
It's hard, because I know that it could end tomorrow if there were certain authorities or certain people to just make that decision. So that part of it can be like pretty confusing for me to think about, and just know that someone does have the power to end it.